The number of boating incidents on Tennessee waterways took an alarming jump in 2020 as the number of boating-related fatalities jumped from 8 in 2019 to 32 in 2020. And here to share with us how we can be safe and be even more safe on the water this year is Matt Cameron with Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Chris.
Let's talk about this. Y'all released these numbers and it just jumped off the page at me when this press release came out. 32 boating related fatalities in 2020. That is the highest number in 37 years. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, it caught me off guard too. I didn't realize that the number had gotten that high. I knew it was up there, but I didn't realize it was the highest in almost 4 decades. But it's easy to blame the pandemic for everything these days, but it really is a direct correlation to the pandemic. People were off work more and they spent more time outdoors because our governor, he kept the outdoors open. You could go hunting, you could go fishing, you could go boating. So people couldn't go to the mall, they couldn't go to ball games and do all the traditional activities they normally engaged in. So a lot of them, thankfully for us, they picked up a fishing rod again, or maybe for the first time, or they bought that boat they've always been wanting, and they spent more time on the water. So just the sheer volume of boats that were out there increases the number of incidents that are going to likely happen. And in turn with that, our officers had to scale back enforcement because of the pandemic and because of social distancing. So they could only address safety issues that they saw firsthand. So if they had to go deal with something, they would, but they were directed to not interact with the public unless they just had to. So it's kind of like a perfect storm, more boaters out there and then less boating enforcement and interaction. And unfortunately, it's resulted in 32 fatalities in 2020.
And a high number of those fatalities and those accidents were alcohol and drug related as well. That's another thing we got to keep in mind here. It's just like driving impaired. Don't boat impaired as well.
You're 100% correct. And just to touch on the pandemic and vehicle incidents, I think nationally there were 28% more vehicle crashes than there were in previous years, once again because of the pandemic. So they were seeing it on the roadways as well. But yeah, don't drink and drive a vehicle. Don't drink and drive a boat. We could go down a whole long trail of why you shouldn't, but it's dangerous. And, just on the water, the effects of alcohol are intensified just quickly because of the fluid movement of the water. When you're in a boat and you don't drink, you get off the water, you still feel like you're in a boat. So you can imagine having alcohol on top of that, what it does to a boater. Reaction time slowed down. You got boats coming from all directions on the waterways, whereas on the road it's just what's in front of you. The glare off the water, the dehydration from the sun and the heat that you're experiencing out there, alcohol just intensifies all of those things, and it's a very dangerous thing to do, is to drink and drive a boat.
And there's some other things you can do to be safe too. And if it starts with taking that boating safety course, those are offered as well, and they're readily accessible.
Yeah. If you're born after January 1st, 1989, you have to have a boating safety certificate to operate a boat in Tennessee. So, that's I'm not good with math, but that's just full-grown adults now. But there are a lot of folks still older than that aren't required to have boating education. But you can go online and educate yourself in a boating education course. And I promise you, you may have been boating your entire life, but you will learn a great deal about boating, a lot of stuff that you didn't know if you'll just go in and educate yourself, even though there's no mandate from the law to do that.
And also just, we drive this point home whenever we can, wearing those life preservers and being aware of your surroundings. And that means when you're below or above a dam, just make sure that you know the generation schedules. Just being aware of your surroundings and wearing those life preservers can save a lot of lives.
It does. I've said it before, 80% of people who drown in boating accidents aren't wearing a life jacket. So you can drown with one on, but wear it. It will make a difference because people find themselves in the water unexpectedly. It happens even to our officers. Our officers have been ejected from their boats. It happens to everyone. So yes, wear that life jacket. It's going to give you a fighting chance, especially in cold water like we have right now. You're not going to last very long because you're going to put on all these clothes. You go into the water, your clothes are going to get saturated, and there's no way you're going to swim with that stuff on, especially in cold water. So by all means, wear those life jackets. And then yes, be aware of beware of the water conditions. We've seen several incidents below dams where they're spilling water just because of all the precipitation we've had, and that creates a very, very dangerous situation right there. So avoid that spill right there. That's where those guys want to go and catch those fish, because the fish are there. But they get there, their engine or their propeller loses bite, and they get pulled into that spillway. And once that happens, it's almost impossible to come out of that alive.
And you know, you mentioned it earlier, but y'all only have so many officers, and because of the pandemic, you're spread kind of thin, and you're trying to be socially distant and do the right thing. So it falls onto all of us that are on the water as well to be eyes and ears for the TWRA and for law enforcement. If you see something going on that's wrong, let TWRA or local law enforcement know about it.
Yeah, you know, you can always call 911 and they'll direct you to us eventually, but the direct line to our dispatcher in Region 4 is 1-800-831-1174, and that's for you to report any hunting, boating, or fishing violations, and that's good all the way up until midnight.
And while I got you here, let's change gears just a little bit. You know, we talked about boating safety courses. There are also hunter education courses that are all online right now. Give our viewers a little update on those and how they can get involved there if they have a youngster or someone that wants to take that hunter education course.
Yeah, this really is revolutionary in our world, is to have a completely online hunter education course. You know, in the past you could take the course online, but you still had to show up for a field day and to take the exam and all that. But all that has been waived now. You can do it all completely online, and that's going to really benefit folks that are busy, that can't find time to get into a hunter education course. So go to tnwildlife.org and you'll see it right there on the homepage. It's a free hunter education course. You'll have to create an account, so you can take it all online and get certified, and you'll be ready to go to the woods.
And I've taken that course, and not only is it teaching you the safety aspect of everything, it's also teaching you to respect the outdoors, to respect wildlife, to respect landowners' rights and things. There's so much more that goes into those hunter education courses.
Yeah, there are. It's not all about just gun safety. That's a big component of it, but ethics and responsibility of the hunter to protect the great privilege that we have to go and enjoy the bountiful blessing of resources that we have here in this great state. The responsibility falls on all of us to act the right way. Even on our social media, what we post and how we post it. There's nothing wrong with you posting your harvest, but do it in a way that's respectful to the wildlife and respectful to those who don't agree with what we like to do. Because there's I don't know, I don't want to go down too many paths for that, but yeah, just be mindful of how you carry yourself as a hunter, because we don't want to lose these rights that we have to hunt and fish in Tennessee.
All right. Matt Cameron, thank you so much for taking some time with us today. We covered some ground there, but I think it's important ground that we covered today.
Absolutely, Chris. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Matt Cameron with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Their website, folks, I encourage you. We got it right there on the screen. Go there today. They have some great giveaways going on there and all kinds of important information. We'll be back with more Daytime in just a few moments.